Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Pitch Track Chronicles. I am Uncle Tats. I'm here with Rob and Donald. And the Yankees are now on an official win streak after winning 2 games against the Twins. And you hear a lot of the narrative, it's the Twins. We always beat the Twins and blah, blah, blah. But listen, it's the way the Yankees have been able to play as a team. They look cohesive. It looked like they have their mojo back. And if it takes the Twins to get us back on track, then I don't care what the narrative is. I am all in on it. You know, we've been waiting for that feeling where things are starting to click, and you can actually have some optimism because we've been pretty pissed off for 2 months about the direction of this team. And if these are those moments, if this is that series that's going to get us back into that positive feeling, I know Donald is, I'm sure Rob is as well, and I am, then let's ride with it because this is that feeling we've been waiting for, where we feel like you almost feel like you're invincible, and it all starts with one person, and that's Giancarlo Stanton. After all the bullshit that the fan base and the media and all the fan bases make him a laughing stock, he's a guy never complains, holds himself and his team accountable. You want him to play the field. He knows he's not an elite fielder anymore, but if that's where you want him to get him into the lineup, he's like, all right, give me a glove. I got you. So this is why we are such Stanton defenders. We've called them out when we've had to. We're very fair, but you cannot say that Stanton now at this point is the reason why we have had these troubles. It's been a lot of everybody around Giancarlo Stanton because when he's on these runs, just sit back, enjoy, and just relax. Rob, how are we feeling about the back-to-back wins?
I'll tell you what I'm not feeling good about is a certain person's comments in the chat, but I'm feeling great about Giancarlo Stanton. And it's nice to have a couple of wins under our belt. Still a long ways to go. We always beat the Twins, I get that, but it's nice to see that they're finally playing good baseball, at least for a couple of nights. They didn't really have any ugly plays after what we witnessed this past weekend against Houston, so baby steps, I guess, if they want to stay in this thing. They're still in a playoff spot, so that's good. And, yeah, Giancarlo Stanton, anyone that thought he should have been traded or released or whatever narrative that dope wants to say on Twitter can go suck it because Giancarlo Stanton's here to stay, and thankfully he's a New York Yankee because without him, who knows where this team would be right now. So I'm very glad as a Yankee. I was ecstatic when we got him. I'm still ecstatic he's here. I know the injuries have been a problem throughout his career for us, but without him, there's a lot of games that we don't win, and we need that bat. And how about his glove? He's been fine out there in right field.
Yeah.
So, give him credit. He's played outstanding.
You've always said as a podcast he's better as a fielder.
Yeah. I mean, now you don't really want him running at all. Yeah, you don't really want him running much at all, but, get his bat in the lineup any which way you can, and he's going to make things happen. And thankfully he's doing that because this team needed a jolt, and it seems like Giancarlo Stanton was that jolt. So, Big G, we love you. Keep doing what you're doing.
And who we don't love is these kind of comments. Stan is the twin. I mean, listen, reverse Benjamin Button. Nobody is interested in your obscure references from 55 years ago. What are you talking about? Lee Major's character. What are you talking about?
Reverse Benjamin Button is nuts.
You suck.
Oh.
You suck.
Like, one thing is, how many people are going, who?
Exactly. So, please take your obscure references and remove them from the chat. Thank you very much, Benjamin.
Believe me, Sunil always gives us, a little bit of an eye roll and a little bit of a giggle. But that is really, you're really rewinding the clock on that one. But the other thing with G, real quick, I want to throw it to you, Donald, is the Twitter pain in the ass was mentioned, about his, this is increasing his trade stock. He's got a no trade. He ain't going anywhere. How many times do we have to say it on the show?
I'm not bringing it into existence. I don't want to think about him being anything other than a Yankee. I want him to be a Hall of Famer and a Yankee. I want him to have 500 home runs as a Yankee. I want just to bring that into the atmosphere. I don't want to think about NTCs and him being DFA'd or anything like that. I want to bring it into the atmosphere that he is a very special hitter. He's got the best exit velo in the majors, and he is a machine. And you know what's great? He's the anti-Yankee. Why? Because he holds himself accountable, and he turns up every day and plays very, very fucking hard. That's 2. 3, he doesn't listen to all that that uppercut nonsense and all that shit. He has a very level swing, and it's his sheer power and strength and unbelievable swing that creates these massive home runs that he, like, for instance, that he hit yesterday. He doesn't have a huge uppercut swing like others in the team. You know, I mean, he's not just strictly a pull hitter. He's got a brilliant level, powerful swing, and I think it's how you would draw it up, in my opinion. He's just an absolutely absurd hitter, man. It's just look at what he did with that home run. He was sitting on that curveball, and he stepped into it and just destroyed it. Absolutely destroyed it. Unbelievable player. And yeah, we're blessed to have him. We have 2 great hitters in this lineup, and he's one of them. It's him and Aaron Judge. They're the 2 great hitters. You've got good hitters scattered around the lineup, but the 2 great hitters are him and Stanton. And listen to Paul O'Neill yesterday. He said it. Find a way to get his bat in the lineup. I'm pretty sure that was a direct message to Mr. Bubbles, because it was absurd that they were trying to find ways in which not to play him. So look at what happens when you give him running games. He had 4 hits yesterday. He was a triple away from the cycle. Brilliant. Big fucking G, man. Big fucking G. Big G-force. We're blessed to have him.
Yeah, no, it was his first 4-hit game, since 2003. So you're going back a couple years. But if you think about the impact he's had on this team, he's not going to do that all the time. But you have to embrace when he's on his hot streak. Yes, you have to figure out a way to get him into the lineup. And at home at Yankee Stadium, right field, he's very comfortable. If we were on the road, it'd probably be a little bit of a different situation. Because Boone said he's more comfortable with him on the field in the home ballpark rather than away. So that's why we had to wait a little bit.
Is that true?
What?
I think he meant 2023. You said 2003.
You said 2003, man. I mean, that he'd be like 60.
Yeah. I was very supportive of you yesterday, Luca. But congratulations to Luca on his TV debut.
That's awesome. Alex. That was the TV debut.
Alex, sorry, Alex, the other twin. But, Rob, take it over.
Right, so let's get into our chat. Let's say good morning, everybody in the chat. Tats is getting the Twins mixed up. He's getting. We give you a pass. We know what you've been dealing with. But what's up to everybody? What's up, Stevie B? What's up, Luca? What's up, Jake? What's up to Impeach Email? Good to see you in the chat. What's going on, Lou? What's going on, Dad? Damien's here. We already talked about the elephant in the room. What's up to Ken? What's up to Raziel? Raziel was popping off about Stanton earlier in the chat, and I'm happy to see it. FJ is with us. Jonathan, of course, is with us. And a big special shout-out to one of our very favorite people in the chat, Mr. John the Beagle Dad. It is his birthday, so happy birthday, John. We're glad you're with us, spending your day with us here on this Wednesday morning. What's up, NFE? In a recent Spanish news show, Jorge Posada. Oh man, I lost the comment. Where is it? Let me read that. Let me go back to
If
it.
he ever felt to one day manage, he stated that it has crossed his mind.
Ooh,
I would
interesting.
I would love Jorge Posada to be the Yankee manager. I hope that's
yeah.
and the offing. I've heard some rumors that he's not too pleased with the way that the Yankees are running things right now, and he'd like to bring some toughness and accountability back to the New York Yankees. That would be a wonderful, beautiful thing. But I think you'd probably have to get rid of Brian Cashman before that happens, or at least Mike Fishman. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but I would love it.
It would have been a very different narrative if the Yankees had lost one of these first two games coming into today's show, because it would have been, with Hal would have been catching a lot of the heat for, where's the drive? Why are you sitting there if you're investing money year after year after year and still letting the same BS happen over and over and over again? Like, at what point do you say, hey, when am I getting my investment back? In the form of, in the reward of a trophy to stand next to.
They're getting it back by chicken buckets, bro.
Yep.
That's how they're doing it. That's why he doesn't fucking care about what's going on in the field, because chicken buckets and 46,000 chicken buckets every day certainly covers for any expenditure in the way of Max Fried or Cody Bellinger. So that's why I don't really think that he necessarily cares that much. I'll be perfectly honest. I don't think he's probably paid much attention to the box score. Maybe checks it every other couple of days on his yacht in Italy. So I'm not totally buying into Hal, because if Hal was genuinely cared, he would have said something by now. Let's be honest. If he genuinely was like going to Yankee Stadium, he was involved in this team on the day-to-day, there's no way that he wouldn't have said something. Because, I mean, Jesus, what are you looking at? So he's in Milan somewhere. He has to be. There's no other excuse.
Yeah. Also, what's going on, Lou? You say the Twins are gutted. Of course, we was winning. Not necessarily. This is also a team that couldn't sweep the Rockies when they had only had 8 wins at that point. Almost a month into the season. And so, you can't, like they said, you can't predict baseball. But this is that's why we were leading in. This is that series that should right the ship. They should take the momentum from this series playing the Twins, who we own. It's not a secret. And it doesn't matter how many times the lineups flip over for either team. It's just the way it is. And will that narrative ever change? Well, not this series, because the Yankees are handling their business. And also, it takes the players to kind of rally behind themselves. Let's switch to the pitching. Look at the first inning from Rodon. Did it look like he was going to get to the 7th inning yesterday? No. It's once he was able to get through that first inning, only allowing up 1 run, if they having bases loaded, nobody out. I think he just saw the Bulldog in them kind of come back into reality. Yeah, and he gutted out, what was it, 15, 16 straight rebellion, before the walk. So it wasn't even like they were hitting him hard. The defense was playing behind his pitcher. It was just great. It's been a great team series so far. And we have not seen this in almost 2 months. Instead of just one guy kind of being the spark and everybody else taking the game off and not backing anybody up, it was that cohesive unit that leads you to believe if there was ever a springboard series, this should be it.
Well, we just need to see a little more. I'm not ready to start a parade or anything. I'm not giving any credit to the manager. They just finally started talking about doing the little things the other day. So that guy's lost the plot. I'll tell you who else has lost the plot. Sunil with his new manager and bench coach. Jesus Christ. What kind of crack are they selling in Texas? But anyway,
they have to. This is. I don't want it to distract the show, but this is so bad that even people in the chat are commenting on it. So,
oh my god, dude,
he's got Vic Pappy as the bench coach. I'm sorry. You're on
Yeah.
crack. Stay off the
Just
crack. We appreciate you, Sneal, but you're in timeout. That's just ridiculous. That's absurd. Big Papi and Pedro Martinez, that's absurd. You're in timeout.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Let's
pretty
get back to the fucking chat here. Big fucking G. Let's go. Aaron Boone practicing fundamentals in August. In fucking August. 8 years. It's taken him 8 years. And now he's finally doing some drills in August. Probably because he feels the booing, hears the booing from the stands and stuff like that, because he was too scared to come out and Old Timers Day, because he knows he's going to get his ass booed because he's a little softy. He's a little bitch baby. So, no, I'm not giving any credit to Aaron Boone. Are you kidding me? Fucking infield drills in August. These guys were doing this clown shit for years, and you were doing nothing. Oh, now you're doing it in August because you know that you might get sacked if this continues. Right. Yeah, I'm not giving you any credit at all, Aaron. As for the Twins series, listen, we're playing well. Big G's on a torrid streak, and everybody's kind of coming around and hitting, and we've got some good pitching. Very impressed with the starting pitching, but let's be honest, it's the Twins. They are selling off. All we do is beat the Twins. I need to see us against another team. So before I start getting excited, I want to see us in the next series and the series after that, because the Yankees have a losing record on the road. Have you seen a road record lately? It's literally a dumpster fire. We've actually literally got a losing record at this stage on the road. So, I'm not going to look too deeply in a home series against the Twins.
It does feel like a sense of normalcy.
They sold off 8 players. I mean, they've sold off about 2 sides of A4 worth of players at the deadline. So they're not trying to compete. The Yankees are doing their business. They have to sweep them. If they don't win tonight, it's literally an embarrassment. The Yankees have to sweep this series. There's no games to take off. So while I appreciate that Big G is who he is, and he's an absolute machine, and he's put this team on his back, thank God, for at least because he's keeping us competitive in August. But I need to see us against St. Louis, and I need to see us against Tampa Bay, who we have an awful record against Tampa Bay. So, they're 10 players. Literally, you could literally go through like a fucking booklet of players that they've gotten rid of. So, as I say, let's see how they do against St. Louis. They're a 500 team in the National League. We never play well against the National League. Then we're playing Tampa Bay. We have an awful record in our division. We're awful against Tampa Bay because we try and outsmart Tampa Bay instead of outpower Tampa Bay, right? That's been our biggest bugaboo bear for years, that they've been trying to outsmart them analytically. Don't try and out-analytic Tampa Bay. Outpower them, because you're the New York Yankees. You've got 100 times their resources, right? So I'm getting off topic, but I need to see us doing the business in the next 2 series and beyond before I get overly excited about winning 2 games against an embarrassingly bad Twins team. I mean, they've got their center fielder is a Yankee fan with a 460 OPS, who the Yankees let go of in the Rule 5 draft. So their best player is Buxton by far. And it's not really close. They don't really have much else. So I'm not going to get too excited about beating the Twins. But I am excited about Big G. That's the one guy I'm excited about. That guy is a fucking machine. And I'm going to do it again. Big fucking G. That's my boy. There's no other boy I have in this team other than Big fucking G. I love this man.
It's not, I understand you don't want to get overly hyped up, against 2 wins against the Twins. But you have to admit that this is actually something that can springboard them to get, they have 43 games left in the season. This could definitely be that series that gets everything right again and can really, maybe we make our way back and we're not sitting in the last wild card spot. And we move up the ladder a couple of rungs. Maybe the division, might be a little tough. But who's to say we can't be a host for a wild card game? That would benefit the Yankees tremendously. So yeah, it's easy to just it's the Twins. Who cares? But they still have to play. They still have to play the games. They still have to execute. That's why I'm not bringing up the manager. I'm talking more about what the players did, because they had to put everything into play. Everything had to start looking. They're playing for each other. They're not playing for their manager. They gave up. They probably gave up on the manager already. Like you said, they waited now until do infield drills. Are you serious? Maybe they've done them in the past, and this is the first time it's on camera. I doubt, with all the people in and out of that stadium. But this is the springboard series that could really get things right again, and we can actually start talking positive about this team rather than all the BS we've had to talk about.
At least they're not playing down to the opposition, because as we've seen this plenty of times,
Exactly.
the way we played against the Rockies earlier this year was a disgrace. We probably should have gone swept in that series. We won 2 out of 3, but we barely deserved it. We were fucking ass in that series. So it's good that we're not playing down to the opposition. Like the Rockies, the Twins, I look at them very similarly. They're just bad organizations right now. So that's where I'm at.
Anything could be a springboard series. I mean, the Yankees are usually the get-right series for a lot of teams. When they play the Yankees, they get on a hot streak. So, of course, we want it to be this series. And you say, oh, back in early August or mid-August, the Yankees swept the Twins and turned their season around. I hope that's the case because, again, I don't want to see them lose. I said this the other day. I don't want to see them lose. So, if this is the series that gets them going, great. But I don't know if it's necessarily whining, Mark. I just think it's more so we want to see more. Yeah, we're happy that they won. Of course I'm happy that they won, but we should be winning these games. We should have beaten other teams in the past, but we're not going to talk about the past or too much, but it's hard to not because for 2.5 months this team is playing so bad that they cost themselves a division championship, basically. And that's what the frustration is. And the fact that it's mid-August, and they're now finally practicing all this stuff they should have been practicing months ago. So that's where the frustration is. We're happy about the wins, but we need to see more.
Luke is right. How many times have we seen this in the series where this is a game that'll turn the season around, and they don't? That's exactly it. Remember when Bellinger's incredible play against the Mets, and that was meant to be the springboard. It never was. We went on a losing streak after that. When Grisham hit that home run the other day, that was meant to be the springboard. We almost got no hit the next day. This is the first time we've had a 2-game winning streak. So, Mark, I don't know what you're talking about, whining. I'm giving you the truth. That's the truth. This is our first time we've had a 2-game winning streak. So, honestly, deal with it. It's not whining. It's the truth. You want pom-poms? Go somewhere else for pom-poms. This is a serious team. We have serious expectations here. We have a championship to win for. We don't celebrate 2-game winning streaks. I'm very happy for one person, Big fucking G. That guy has been through hell. He's been through hell. And he continues to come out stronger than ever. So that's one guy I'm delighted for. And I'm happy to see that Aaron Judge looks like he's coming around as well. I expect Aaron Judge is going to be on a torrid streak after this, by the way. Do you know why? Because that home run was hit to center. Left or right center, doesn't matter. That's usually a sign that they are locked in. That's usually a sign. When you hit to left or right center, that means that you are locked in. So I expect that Aaron Judge will go on a torrid streak. If he does, then this team will start winning some games, especially with Big G and especially with the run that he's on right now. So that's something to look out for. And we've got the pitching for it. We've got the bullpen. We got the rotation. So there's no whining here. I fully expect that the way things are going, I expect the Yankees are going to start going on a run. I do. I think they're going to go on a run. At least to get them to the playoffs. After that,
who knows?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just more of like we've seen. Like I said the other day, we've seen this movie one too many times. I said this 2 days ago. They're probably going to end up catching fire sooner than later, and they're going to ride that into the playoffs, and then we all know how that ends. So it would not surprise me one bit if this is the series that springboards them back, and they start winning a lot of games. I don't know if it's enough to catch Toronto or even catch Boston, but we're certainly closer to Boston than Toronto. But maybe it is the one that catapults them to getting hot at the right time. But we've seen this story one too many times. So all we're saying is make it different. This time it needs to be different. If you get into the playoffs with some momentum, ride the momentum. Because how many times have we read it into October on a hot streak and we didn't do anything with it? So that's what we want to see, something different here. So hopefully this is the series that gets him going. Hopefully this is the series that wakes Aaron Boone up, that I need to get Stanton in the lineup as many times as I possibly can, and use your best players.
Yep.
Stop worrying about feelings and just use your best players, because it's now or never. It's gut check time, like he said. So it needs to use your best players, and if they need a day off here and there, absolutely you don't want to push a guy like Stanton, because he's very, very fragile at this point. So, but you need his bat in the lineup as many times as possible, and that's the only way they're going to win or come back and potentially maybe win this division, or at least get the top wild card spot. Because if you keep worrying about people's feelings, I need Devin Williams to pitch in the 8th inning today because he's a closer at heart. You can't worry about that.
Nope.
Use the players where they're most comfortable, and good things will happen. Hell, look at Anthony Volpe last night. 3-run home run at the 9th spot in the lineup. He's looked a lot better. He's looked a lot more comfortable lately. He's up to 18 home runs, nearly 70 RBIs. Everything else hasn't checked out, but he's been one of the better players on the team since the All-Star break. Use the players where they're comfortable, and good things will happen. This is not something that we should be stressing to the manager 7.5 years in his 8th year as a manager in August. And that's what frustrates us. So even in the middle of winning, it's things like that that you're just like, yeah, why are we still talking about this in August of your 8th season? How have you not figured this out yet? And that's why it's so difficult to be like, we're back, baby, because 2 wins against the Twins, you should beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not back. We're looking better, but we're not back yet. And we came on, look, when we opened the show, I was hyped up. Like, because what are you supposed to do? Bitch about winning 2 games?
Right.
Even though the games you're supposed to win. But you get to that point in the discussion where it's like, all right, let's come off cloud 9 and let's get back to the reality of it. And that's where we're at right now. Is the reality that, yes, they played 2 games against a AA Twins team, a AAA Twins team that, is they just gutted their whole team in the deadline. But yes, the Yankees are supposed to. But that's why I'm saying I was looking more towards the players than the coaches, because the players had to execute.
Right. The players are going to have to win in spite of their manager. I think
Exactly.
we can all agree on that. I don't think there's anyone that can't disagree with that, because I'm looking at this and I look at the roster, I look at the lineup, I look at the bullpen, and I don't really have much of a problem with it. It's a good team. It's a good team that's capable of going on a run. The one thing that scares me. The one thing that scares me is the management. I'm scared that Mike Fishman's going to interfere. I'm scared that Aaron Boone is going to do something really dumb. That's the one thing that scares me. It's not the team. The team is what it is. It's solid enough. It's more than solid enough to go on a run in the American League. It's never been about the team. Now, it's got flaws, don't get me wrong, but there is enough talent that they can go on a winning streak. The American League is pretty soft. The one thing that scares me is the management. Mike Fishman has a bizarre grasp on analytics. It's really bizarre, and it's not in line with the rest of the league. He comes up with some weird and wonderful philosophies like hot doesn't exist and cold is fine and whatever. I don't even know what the fuck they do, and they don't practice fundamentals in the minors, and they don't practice fundamentals in the majors either. So, there's a whole lot of shit that scares me, because, if the Yankees have a consistent lineup every day, they run something similar to what they did yesterday, I think the Yankees will be just fine. I think they'll be just fine. When Aaron Judge is fully healthy, he'll be in right field. Stanton will be DH. Dominguez, he's a butcher in left field, and we need to play our best guys every day. Dominguez isn't that right now. I love Dominguez, but at the moment, maybe we just need to go on a consistent run with Bellinger, Grisham, Judge, and Stanton. And I'm okay with that, because right now there's no time for passengers. We got to go, 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 go. They've spent months losing, and now you have no more room to mess around. There's no room to rotate. They need a consistent lineup, consistent place in the order, and just give it a run. Give it a run. We can't have too many changes. We need to get a consistent lineup. I keep saying this. Fishman doesn't believe in it. Boone doesn't believe in it, but I believe in it, and I think most major leaguers believe in it. That they are in a much better spot if they know where they're going to play. One, they're comfortable in the order they are, in the lineup too, and they're comfortable that they know that they can get a consistent run. If you do that, good things tend to happen. But the Yankees have changed that up of late, and that's when things went wrong. Last year we had a consistent lineup. Where did it lead us to? The World Series. This year, at the start of the year, things were consistent, right? It was when Aaron Boone and Mike Fishman got together and went, how can we fuck things up? And then they moved Jazz Chisholm to third base and then started to make it a rotation every single day of players playing out of position. That's when the losing streak started. So I don't have an issue with this team. The team is okay. It's not great. It's not a World Series caliber team, but it's a good enough team to go on and run an American League. If Aaron Boone doesn't do anything to fuck it up. Good luck.
Well, we know he will, because we kind of got confirmation of that from everything that we've been talking about on this show for the last 5 years, where we said we know how the lineup's basically generated by two people, and they figure it out on the fly, basically.
Yep.
You know who confirmed that for us? A former player. Clint Frazier said that's exactly how they do things. Aaron Boone will have his lineup, the analytics team will have their lineup, and they'll mix it together and find the best combination. That's what he said. I suggest you guys watch that podcast that Clint Frazier put out, because we finally get some insight to what's going on in the Yankee organization. And everything that we've been saying about Aaron Boone has kind of been true. He wasn't angry about Boone. He said he has good things to say about Aaron Boone, but he was pretty much confirming everything that we've been saying about the guy and every fan has been saying about the guy. So it's good to know that we're not as stupid as the Yankee organization thinks we are. So
what kind of stuff did he say about Aaron Boone? Actually, I didn't pay attention to the podcast. What did he say?
He was complimentary of the guy. He was, obviously he's a good guy and all that. He was a friendly dude, but basically it's not all his operation. Everything that we've been saying, the Yankees run it differently. So Boone will have his say, but a lot of it's going to come from the guys above him as well. The analytics team has a big part in what goes on with the lineups. So that's pretty much what we've been saying for the last 5 years on this show, and everyone else that's done shows before us and everyone on Twitter. We've all had that same idea. It's like it comes from two different people, the manager and then the analytics staff, and then they put it together. So it was a small clip, and I suggest you guys go watch the podcast, because it's it's eye-opening, because you get to see some insight from a guy that was there. And
yeah, I will check it out. I dismissed it because it was Clint Frazier. My guy, another guy that thought who he was. Now wants to kind of get himself back in the spotlight a little bit, and it's more the sunshine, Donald, than anything. You see how it's changing us.
It's the glare. What can you do?
Yeah, it's not. So it's just a little bit of glare. That's all that is.
Something called the sun comes out during the day. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Crazy, right? Crazy.
Amazing how these little things called clouds work. When a cloud covers the sun, there might be a shadow, and then it'll come back out. Sun will come out tomorrow. I mean, come on, John. You know what the sun is. Look up in the sky. You'll see it.
Florida. Come on, man.
Yeah, you're in Florida. You should know better than anything.
Damn well what the fucking sun is.
Look how bright Rob's room is. He's got black on his windows.
No, this is just my light.
Yeah. No, the fundamentals of this team and the backbone of this team has really been an issue. Like, we've been going over this. And this year, I think everything has just come to a head of all the frustration going into a season with no third baseman, when you had ample opportunity to take care of that all season. And we haven't, when was, the jury is still out on Heel, because you also have the argument we can never develop, ace-like pitching. I don't want to close the door on Heel yet, because he has the stuff. He's just got to get the experience. We thought we had that with Severino. We just wasn't consistent enough. And when was the last time we developed a first baseman? These are the problems that the Yankees, it's not about the major league roster. It's about all the other bullshit that's before they get to the major league roster. That's the problem. You get guys like Roman Anthony coming up at 21 and they're on fire. And Dominguez, as much as I still have a lot of faith in him, that's what we should be getting from him this year. And we just haven't gotten it yet. And it's a lot of his consistency and poor roster construction because you have to constantly play players out of position and be like, we'll just figure it out. You're a ball player. It should be second nature.
That's also goes back into to talk about Clint Frazier's show again. He mentioned that like a lot of people saying fire Aaron Boone, it won't necessarily fix the problem because you kind of need to start anew with the whole system. He said you need a systematic change from top to bottom, which is again confirming what we were saying years ago, that even if you fire the manager, it's not going to fix everything. It all needs to be plunged and restarted. That includes the GM. I don't have an issue with Brian Cashman, or too much of an issue, but if you're going to really change this organization for the better moving forward, you need that systematic change, top to bottom. It starts with the GM and his assistant, Fishman, the analytics staff, Afterman, even the two guys they brought in recently, Manaya and the dude from the Giants. Everyone, you got to get rid of.
You don't even hear them anymore.
Yeah, what the hell happened to them? You got to get rid of all of them, and if that's how you're really going to fix it, if you just get rid of the manager and hire Brad Ausmus, and the Yankees go on a nice run, they keep Ausmus next year, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the exact same thing. So that's why
it would be the exact same thing, but it would be similar.
It'd be very similar. I mean, obviously, it'll be a little bit different with terms of like post-game interviews, and maybe Ausmus won't be as much of a dick to certain interviewers. But
maybe they practice fundamentals more. But
right, it would be a lot of the same.
I get what you say because Boone is just the messenger, and we're aware of that. We do know that he's just the messenger, but I still think he's bad at his job. The few things that he has power over, he's pretty bad at. Like communication and like every day having the right attitude. He just doesn't do that. His communication skills are not that good. We've already seen that where there's players that think that they're going to play but they don't, and vice versa. And Boone doesn't tell them, even though that's his job. And then we've only just found out now that they're doing some infield drills 8 years too late. So I mean, the things that he's in charge of, he's not very good at. So that's the one thing I disagree with Clint Frazier on. Yes, he is the messenger, but yes, he's still bad at his job.
Well, it's no matter as they can get rid of Bone, they're just going to bring in the next puppet. They're going to bring in the next guy that's just going to fall in line with the way that they want to run the team. It's the manager right now is just, an unfortunate figurehead to take all the slings and arrows. So that's not going to change anything if they bring in, even if they promote Ausmus. He's just going to be handed the same script that Boone got. But I think the biggest problem is maybe not so much Cashman, but I think Fishman is the rotten fish in the room. He's the one
he's got to go. They all got to go. What did I say the other day? I think
what's he doing?
They all have to go. They've been around since like 2005, I think was like the latest. Right. It's 20 years of the same people in place of this. That's too damn long. Fishman stinks at his job. He does, because the Yankees don't use analytics the way they're supposed to be used. Sometimes it works, but most of the time it's an absolute joke what they're trying to do, putting guys out of position. When has that ever worked? It doesn't. And it hasn't worked for years, and the Yankees keep trying to do it. So, yeah, that's why I wanted this a few years ago. We were talking about on the show. You need and as much as I don't think it's all on Cashman, but he's got to go if you really want to see change in the organization. Because, like I said, you keep the GM but fire the manager. Remember what happened? Here's another football reference. Remember what happened with the Giants? They kept the GM, fired the coach, and nothing changed. It was still bad. So it wasn't until they fired everybody and started anew that there was a little bit of a sense of like fresh. And for one season, they were fresh. They made the playoffs in 2022. The Yankees need a systematic change if things are really going to change. Now, maybe they do turn around and they win a championship with Boone, and we're all just like, well, there it is.
No, they
But
won't.
I can't see that happening.
Don't hold
You
your
know?
breath.
I know. I'm just saying there is a chance that happens, but none of us really think that's the case. And Ken, I disagree about Ausmus just because he's a former catcher. So was Girardi, and his bullpen management was not good.
That's not true. Girardi's bullpen management was great. That was one thing that
He had Mariano Rivera. It made things pretty damn easy.
Yeah, Giovanni was handed a cheat code.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Tats. That was the one thing Joe Girardi was given a lot of credit for was his bullpen management because it's dropped off spectacularly since Aaron Boone's got in charge. So I fundamentally disagree there. Brad Ausmus, actually, the thing is, Brad Ausmus actually is far more qualified to be the Yankee manager than Aaron Boone is because Aaron Boone has no qualifications to be Yankee manager. His only qualifications was he's practiced some batting stances for ESPN and kind of had a little whiny voice in the background during the telecasts. Like that was his only qualification. Brad Ausmus has had several years as a bench coach and several years as a manager. He is far more qualified than Aaron Boone. I'm not exactly like banging on the table for him, but I'm saying that if the move was to happen, I wouldn't hate it. I'd be all right with it. It's very hard to know exactly what impact Ausmus has when Aaron Boone's in charge. You know, what kind of power can he possibly have? I guess it's kind of like the vice president, the president. I mean, is how much power does he really have, Brad Ausmus? So, especially in the modern day, in the older day, the bench coach was very important, like Don Zimmer. Right, Don Zimmer was very important. Like or Rob Thompson to Joe Girardi. Rob Thompson ran spring training. But in the modern day, it's all about front offices and it's all about analytics and it's all about Mike Fishman. So exactly how much of an impact is Brad Ausmus going to have? So I'm not going to like tarnish whatever Ausmus is doing because it's so much bigger. So I'd be okay with Ausmus. I have no issue with him.
I don't think Ausmus.
I understand.
Yeah, I don't think Ausmus would solve the problem. But if it would do one thing, it would maybe put other people on alert that, hey, if they can make this change, you know, if the manager's not safe, then who is? Because you know how much they covet their manager and they don't like making all these changes. And he already got his extension. Yeah, so that's what makes me think, even if they did get rid of him, I just don't know what it would take for the Yankees to get to that point and say, hey, Cashman, what the hell are you doing with all my money?
I mean, we always said that maybe you just promote Cashman to keep him in the organization to where he's like, I don't know, president of op. Isn't he already that title anyway, but just don't give him the GM spot anymore? Maybe you just kind of like make him the face of the everyday operation so Hal can just do whatever he wants in the background and not get the blame for it. I don't know. But I do think they need to really consider a systematic change because if this year ends the way that I think it's going to end, it's just going to be another season of what could have been if the Yankees were just run a little bit better because the team is good. I mean, it's flawed, like we said. We've said this from the spring. It's missing at least a bat and a couple of arms in the bullpen. They got those. McMahon's a good third baseman. He's not the best in the world, but he's good. He's good enough. The bullpen is a hell of a lot better today than it was a few weeks ago. And it will be fine next year as long as you keep Luke Weaver and you get another lefty in there. The bullpen's going to be good. The team is good. There's talent there. And there's more talent coming up, and there's talent to pick up in free agency and trades. We have the farm system to make the trades. We have the money to sign the free agents. The Yankees should be a 95-plus win team every single year. That's not us being greedy. That's not us being a bunch of psychotic, stupid Yankee fans like some reporters like to say we are. It's just that's what you should be. You have the pockets for it. You have the farm system for it. You have the talent already for it. But the Yankees don't operate that way, that they just want to go out there and punch you in the mouth every single day. That's what they should be. And that's why every single year that they don't win it, we complain and fans say that we're just spoiled. But the reality of it is the Yankees should be winning every single year.
Well, Luke is right here. I agree with systematic change wholeheartedly, but the organization has to admit there's a problem first.
First step.
Amen.
First step to knowing you have a problem is admitting you have a problem.
Yeah.
Exactly. What's it like if you've got an addiction? Exactly. You gotta realize that you have that problem and you gotta go and fix it. The Yankees right now, they have a problem. Even though the rest of the league, who have zero reason to help the Yankees out here, are helping the Yankees out by basically putting it out there that no one respects their work. No one respects their work in the minors. No one respects their work in terms of development. Nobody respects their work. And the Yankees are like, we're the best. We are the best. Oh yeah, we're the best, baby. That's why I'm not giving their front office any credit. I mean, like, how do you not have a winning record with the resources that you have at your disposal? With a Max Fried in your rotation, with an Aaron Judge and Big G in your lineup, how would you not have a winning record? It's hard not to. But the Yankees are finding it really, really difficult to go on a consistent winning streak, which speaks to their incompetence. So they need to figure it out. They do need to make it wholesale changes. They do. I mean, listen, it's easy to make the playoffs. I'm sorry, it is. With the extended wild card, it's kind of easy. A couple of games above 500, you're kind of there. And that's where the Yankees are. So the Yankees just sitting there going, we're the best. We make the playoffs every single year. That's how great we are. It's not really that great. I mean, if maybe prior to Manfred extending the wild card, then yeah, it's a bigger deal. But now it's not that big a deal. There's like 3 wild card teams. How did you not make it if you're the New York Yankees with $300 million and Aaron Judge and Big G and Max Fried and Garrett Cole?
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard not to make the playoffs, in other words. So I don't buy their shit. So when they make the
Coach trying his best.
When they make the playoffs, when they get knocked out, and then Brian Cashman always comes out saying we're very, very proud of our process. We're very, very proud to be part of the postseason there. You should stop being proud because no one cares that you make the postseason. No one. If you don't win. If it was all about just making the postseason, no manager in the history of sports would ever get fired. Why would Tom Thibodeau get fired from the Knicks for getting to the conference finals? You know what I'm saying? In the NBA. No one cares if you're in the postseason if you're not winning the whole fucking thing. Are the Patriots doing a parade because they went 17-1? Fuck them. But do you know what I'm saying? No, because no one cares if you don't win the fucking Super Bowl. Right? At the end of the day, the history books don't say, oh, the Yankees are just a consistent above 500 team that gets knocked out in the postseason every year. That's not something that's going to get in the history books. Getting in the history books is putting a flag on your stadium that says you won a fucking pennant, won a championship. The Yankees don't do it enough. Not for their resources. I know there's Met fans that'll be like, what are you guys complaining about? We're the Mets. We deserve one.
Could fucking care less if you're the Mets. We're not the Mets.
It's different standards. It's the Yankees. You guys don't have what the Yankees sell their fan base as. The pride and fucking pinstripes and all that stuff. You got to live up to it. You got expectations to live up to. So it's time that they start doing it. And Luca's right. Rob's right. You have to admit that there's a problem. And I'm begging for the Yankees to admit there's a problem.
Like, shouldn't there be a huge red flag when in August the media is celebrating infield practice? Like, shouldn't that be something that's looked at as normal? Like, to me, that was like, I'm like, well, why haven't they been doing that? Why is it now that they did they tip off the Yes Network cameras? Hey, make sure you're here early because we're gonna run infield practice. Make sure you get it on camera so we can say, look, we're trying. I'm like, that should have been a huge red flag. That was a big flag for me, saying that something's just not right. There's so much dysfunction.
Well, we've known that for years. This
Yeah.
team is dysfunctional. But I mean, how many times have we seen other teams where they have like a costly error the next day they're running drills with a manager that is competent,
Yeah.
right? You guys talked about it when we lost to Cincinnati, and De La Cruz got taken out of the
corner,
game.
yeah.
Right. So, and he's their best player by far. Didn't matter. You're out. We talked about it the other day with Dave Robertson and Shohei Ohtani, who's involved in another scandal. But it's
Yeah,
why
what's
are
going
we-
on with that?
who knows with that guy? I mean, I still think he's guilty of the whole Ipe stuff, free Ipe. But yeah, I don't know. I'm playing around. I love Ohtani, but
Johnny, I'm watching you, bro.
that guy's
I'm watching you.
There's something sketchy going on.
with all that money he's got. Who knows what's going on with him? But hey, as long
I
as
know
he's
your game, Ohtani. I know your game.
he hit into a triple play last night too. That was insane. But yeah, that guy's just surrounded by controversy right now. Anyway, but teams with competent managers will practice infield drills when things don't go well for one play. One bad play and the entire infield's got to suffer. With the Yankees, it's encouraged to do it again. Anthony Volpe threw to the wrong base. Why should we practice infield drills? I encourage that. And that's where the problem is. Again, we're still ways away from this team getting to where we want them to be. But if this is finally the point in time where they realize maybe we should change things up a little bit, is it too late for this season? Probably, but hopefully this means in future seasons they'll wake up and be like, maybe you need to keep some of the old school in order to be a good baseball team. Because I think it was brought up early. Look at what Milwaukee's doing with I don't think the roster in Milwaukee, no disrespect to them, I think our roster's better than theirs. But look at what they're doing. They're getting the most out of every single player on that team.
Crazy.
They traded Devin Williams. It was in our comment section from the other day. Like he was supposed to be one of the best closers, and it hasn't hurt them. Like, that's how well coached they are. So coaching matters because look at the Brewers, look at the Padres. Their lineup, their team isn't probably as loaded as the Dodgers, but they're tied now. Tigers, perfect example. A lot of teams that are not as well or at least as loaded roster wise as the Yankees are blowing us out of the water in terms of production. That's an issue. So don't tell me coaching doesn't matter. It does matter. The play on the field matters, absolutely, but a lot of it has to do with coaching, and the Yankees' coaching is not that good.
Exactly.
No,
MJ is spot on here. Cashman's ego will never admit to a mistake.
Yeah.
Right. Well said. Absolutely. Very
Yeah,
much.
it's
agree.
always somebody else's fault.
I think that the Yankees can do a mixture. This is not like an old school, like screaming at the lawn kind of a thing. I'm okay with analytics. I don't have an issue with it. I think every sport benefits from it. It's stupid not to use it because it's a tool at your disposal. It is. It's a tool that can help you. Jesus Christ. It's kind of like revision for a test, with any test. It helps you, prepares you. So absolutely, but it shouldn't be the be all and end all. And I think a mixture would actually help the Yankees with, like, for instance, a more old school manager, for instance, and then you can have like a new school bench coach. You know what I'm saying? Or like, for instance, I've been clamoring for this. I think David Cohn should be part of the Yankees pitching organization because he's someone that mixes in both. He can help, like, talk to the players. Plus, he's really heavy on the analytics. He loves the analytics. You know what I'm saying? And then, you just listen to – it is a breath of fresh air to listen to Joe Girardi in the booth because he's so prepared. Now, I'm not saying go back to him as manager, but he is very prepared. I've never once heard Aaron Boone sound even remotely prepared for anything. So it is – I think you can have a mixture. You can have someone who's a very smart – baseball mind that's been there, done that, but is also in tune with the analytics. I think that's a good mixture. Other teams have found that mixture. The Yankees are the other extreme, where they just want a figurehead as manager that's just going to say yes to everything, and they want the power because their egos are so freaking ginormous. It's the biggest ego I've ever seen, and the Yankees. I've never seen an ego like it. It's like impenetrable. They genuinely think that they are the fucking evil empire. You know what I'm saying? They genuinely think it. It's absurd.
I really wish they'd stop at the Star Wars reference.
Oh, please.
Goddamn, that Death Star lost. I don't know why. Did they watch the movies? I don't like Star Wars very much, but at least I know the Death Star did not succeed. So,
Right,
like,
that's true.
why are we
Exactly. We
stop
don't
with
even
the
like
Star
Star
Wars?
Wars, and we know that it didn't succeed. Why are they championing it?
I never understood that reference. I really didn't. But it's and I mean I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm not a fanatic, but a fan. But I even like the Evil Empire thing. I always shook my head with it.
Yeah. It was fun for a while, but it's overdone now. I don't need to hear. Come on.
That goddamn 2-strike horn.
Yeah, that one can go definitely.
I didn't even know what that was until somebody told me what it was.
I explained
just thought
it to
was
you.
like an animal that was like hurt.
I thought it was an elephant. The first, I was like, why are they playing elephant noises every time there's 2 strikes? And I had no clue what that was from. And someone was like, it's Star Wars. I was like, why? Since when did the Yankees become such Star Wars guys?
Yeah, exactly, John. Like, when did that trend start? Where you have to do something? Oh, there's 2 strikes and 2 outs. Like, when did that? Please, I don't even remember when that started.
A few years ago.
Right?
It's
Because
been
every
a little
stadium
too
does
long.
something now.
They're trying to make it apparently like around the league. They're trying to make it to where, at least in certain stadiums, I think the Mets do it a little bit as well. Whereas
Fans wake up.
a lot of noise, kind of like during a basketball game, there's a lot of like music playing even when they're dribbling up court. There's a lot of things happening, and I guess they want fans to stay engaged, but I'm not going to be engaged listening to Darth Vader breathing. That's for damn sure.
Now. It's not high.
Actually, I liked it because I went to a Red Sox game and there wasn't that stupid noises.
Yeah, but then you're stuck with Sweet Caroline, and nobody wants to hear that fucking song.
I know, but it's kind of like a 7th inning thing where everyone's kind of singing. It's not a big deal, but during the action, I'm glad that we didn't get stupid noises. Yankee Stadium are really pushing it. I wonder if it's partly to drown out like the booze or the boredom the Yankee fans have been kind of showing, because even though they show up every day, there's no atmosphere, like zero atmosphere anymore. So maybe they're just trying to pipe in volume to make it look like it's interesting. But
that's exactly what they're doing, because on TV it's very quiet, especially when you listen to some of these announcers. Like if you have to suffer through 9 innings of Michael Kay, you might want to hear some sounds in the background. Because it's going to sound very boring.
It's true.
I get it. I don't like the noises. Maybe if they had other things instead of just Star Wars, then maybe it would be a little more entertaining. But 9 innings of Star Wars noises is not going to make you be like, fuck, I love baseball. Watch Star Wars at that rate.
I'm just hoping. The only thing I'm glad about is it's the old school Star Wars, and it's not this the modern day Disney Star Wars. They're championing it. The power of many.
All right, well, Drunk Hispanic, what's going on? Good to see you. Houston, we're not making the playoffs. Watch and see. Like Donald said earlier, with the expanded play, it is so hard not to make. You have to try not to make the playoffs.
Make you seem like they're trying.
That's what I said. Boone's trying his best to miss that mark, but that's I think the only way that you would really see strong fundamental change is when the getting over winning over 500 for the season. I think if we ever miss that mark, I think that would be what it takes for Hal to say, all right, the run is over.
Yeah. I mean, look at our competition for the third wild card, the Guardians. The Guardians don't have a very good team at all.
Right. They traded pieces and they lost 2 guys to gambling.
Exactly.
They're a game behind us.
For the third wild card. So if I see the Yankees celebrating getting the third wild card, I will be pissed.
Well, at least we know they're not going to hang a banner for a wild card.
They better fucking.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman.
There should just be some high fives.
On a positive, big fucking G. Listen, guys. I don't want anyone to get the wrong impression that we're not happy that we have a couple wins under our belt. We got big G. We have higher expectations because we're the Yankees. It's as simple as that. We need to see them beat the Cards, and we need to see them beat the Rays, and then the Red Sox, etc. But it's a good start. You can only win what's in front of you. We're doing it. We have to sweep this series. If we don't sweep this series, it's a disgrace because the Twins are awful. They've sold 10 pieces. They're an awful team. We have to sweep them. Simple as. But I'm very happy for Big G. His numbers in August are stratospheric. They're not just good. They're absolutely stratospheric. And this is even with Big G as a pinch hitter. And he's not normally known as a great pinch hitter, but he's been a great pinch hitter of late. And now he's got a 300 batting average for the season. When has anyone ever known Big G as a guy with a 300 batting average? He's become an all-round hitter. 12 homers and 34 RBIs in only a third of a season is crazy business. It really is. So I can't say enough about Stanton. And it's also great because he has been through hell with injuries. He's had people complaining about all kinds of things with him in terms of injuries and availability, and even Cashman called him out. And yet Stanton just gets on with the job. He gets on with the job. If fans boo him, he's like, I deserve to be booed. I'll go and get him. I'll go get him tomorrow. And he doesn't go and fucking get him tomorrow. That's just who he is. It's great. He's one of the only guys that holds himself and the team accountable. And that's why I've always been all in on Big G. I just think that he is a wonderful hitter. And I also love the fact that he's just got a great swing. And it's not a pull uppercut swing. It's just a very powerful level swing. And that's how good he is. He's just a beast. And we're blessed to have Big G. And I would make that trade 1,000 times out of 1,000, even knowing with the injuries. You're not guaranteed to have somebody that is this comfortable in pinstripes. And he is more than comfortable in pinstripes. I've got his last 7 games for you guys. 3 home runs, 8 RBIs in his last 7 games. A .529 batting average. 1,100 slug. A 600 on base percentage. That's over his last 7 games. His last 15 games. 6 home runs, 16 RBIs, 353 batting average, 725 slug, 411 on base percentage. He's on fire. His last 30 games, pretty damn good. This is his season in general. 323, 391 on base percentage, 717 slug. So this is a guy that's basically getting on base at a 40% clip. He's batting you 300, and he's giving you tremendous power. And he's doing this despite not being guaranteed to start every day. That's crazy business. So that's how good Big G is. Absolute salute to the absolute machine that he is, man. He deserves more praise.
He'd be a 30 home run guy at least 30 every single year. Like I said this a few years ago when talking about Stanton. He's healthy, he's getting you 30 and more. That's like the minimum with him. And he's already got 12 and he's barely played a month worth of games. Like, come on. I really do wish he was healthier, because who knows where he'd be in home run total right now. He'd be lock first ballot.
A lot closer to 500 than he is now.
Right, and he's already kind of close. Isn't he the active leader? I think
he's at 4. He's actually at 441 now, I believe.
He'd be at 500 if he was healthy.
So he'd surpass it.
He overtook Giambi.
Right, he would be well over 500 if he was healthier in his career. Like think about all the time he's missed since becoming a Yankee, not even including his time with the Marlins. But think about 2019, how much time he missed. 2021 was a healthier season, but the last few years in general, he's missed a lot of time. He'd be well over 500 home runs by now. So, but still, even with those injuries, you need his bat. You know when he's in there, he's a threat to do what he did last night, to do what he's been doing over the last 30 games. Thank God he's a New York Yankee. And yeah, I make that trade. You gave up nothing. Absolutely nothing for him. Who remembers the prospects we gave up for him?
Starlin Castro, who I like Castro, but he ain't fucking Big G.
Jose Devers and somebody else. One of them was a Jose Devers, and who's not made an appearance. And then there's another guy. I can't remember the name. So
What does that tell you?
You traded for the National League MVP, and people were still mad about it because we didn't get Harper. Look, yeah, Bryce Harper would have been great, and you could have had both, but this team, without Giancarlo Stanton, this team's not going very far last season. Even last year, that's how much of an impact he made. So, and without him right now, it'd be a struggling Aaron Judge who really didn't get anything going until last night.
Yeah.
And hopefully this is the turnaround for him as well, because if it is, then we might be seriously talking about a turnaround for the team. Because if Judge and Stanton are going at the same time, that's going to make everyone else's life easier. Bellinger, Goldschmidt, Jazz.
Without Stanton, they don't make the World Series.
No.
Exactly.
So,
Simple as that.
well, at least that's increasing his trade value.
Moron.
Before we head out, I wanted to bring one question up to you guys in the chat. Is Stanton the most underappreciated player in the game right now?
He's the most underappreciated Yankee. He really is.
Yeah, I don't know about the entire sport, because I'm sure there's players around the league that I can't even think about, but yeah, for sure, Yankee, definitely the most underappreciated Yankee.
He might be the most underappreciated Yankee that I can remember
ever.
It's been, and over the last 2 decades, I can't really come across a Yankee that puts up the numbers that he does, that destroys postseason pitching like he does, carries the team in the postseason like he does, and not get the kind of love that he deserves. Because that the Yankee fan base normally, to anybody that hits in the postseason, is treated like a god, right? Even if they're, just look at what Scott Brocious, he made his entire career out of his postseason performances because he wasn't a great regular season player. Big G, for whatever reason, Yankee fans in general have never really bought into him. I mean, when we traded for him, he hit a home run in his very first at-bat as a Yankee. But then he struck out a couple times after that and got booed. The next game he struck out, I think he had a golden sombrero.
Yeah, he had the 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, he got booed mercilessly for it. And that
was the home opener.
That was it.
They started the road in Toronto.
Right. And if you take a step back and go, wow, he's already hit a home run. We're only 2 games into his Yankee career. He's doing well. No, he got booed mercilessly.
Did he have 2 in his first game?
2. And then he was treated like he'd set the fucking stadium on fire. Do you know what I mean? It was just like crazy. Yankee fans, for whatever reason, have been very indifferent towards him, but they're kind of buying into him of late, thank God. But in general, it's been kind of hard pushing for this guy. I don't remember a Yankee that's been treated this indifferently to someone who's been this good. Whenever Stanton is healthy on the field, he is productive. It's as simple as that. He's just overtaken Jason Giambi in home runs. And I love Jason Giambi. Mm-hmm. Loved Big G. I loved another Big G that he was. But Stan's better. Stan is an absolute beast. And if anyone has been a captain, to be honest, it's been Big G. So I'm a big G fan. So
no, we've always been. It was just always a matter of consistency on the field. Because one of our biggest arguments, I'll go back to it real quick before we head out. Stanton didn't decide not to play the field. The Yankees told everybody he couldn't play the field. So, he's always had his better games when he was playing in defense. So, because he's more involved with the game, he was staying more loose. He's had more injuries as a DH than as a right fielder. So, it's a bullshit narrative. But obviously you're not going to, make Judge the DH and put Stanton in the outfield at this point. But why can't he play a couple of series in the outfield? You can see he can do it. The guy is a professional athlete. So, and we've never understood all the vitriol towards Stanton at all. It's never made sense to us.
It never will make sense to me. I mean, he put the team on his back in 2018. Without him, they don't win as many games as they do because Judge was hurt for a good chunk of that season.
That's right.
2021, without Giancarlo Stanton, they might not make the playoffs. Him and Judge were a complete tear that year. But remember what Stanton did in one series in Boston? Like he had a grand slam and a 3-run home run in like back-to-back games in Fenway. Put the team on his back again. Last year, prime example. Without him, they're not in the World Series. That's how important he was. It was Giancarlo Stanton constantly coming up in the clutch every single night during that postseason. Even in Game 1 of the World Series, they would have got shut out if it wasn't for Giancarlo Stanton. So, like, the dude's important. So I know the injuries suck, but using that to justify they should cut him or he's taking playing time away from other guys who aren't producing nearly as well as he is just a stupid narrative that only idiots online are going to say. So anyone that doesn't see how important he is to this team clearly isn't watching. I wish he was healthier. Of course I do, because the Yankees would have won a lot more games and may have a ring with the healthier Giancarlo Stanton. But no denying that what he means to this team. Without him, they're a one-man lineup.
Yep. And, hopefully he better be in the lineup today. That's all I got to say. Otherwise, Friday's going to be very fun.
Oh, God.
I think we're whining today.
Oh, my God. I can't even.
Oh, jeez. But we hope everybody did enjoy the show. We enjoyed hanging out with you all, talking Yankee baseball. And just want to say, if you haven't already, hit that like button. If you want to join the chat on the live streams, it's easy. Just hit that sub button. Share this out, your friends, your family, the stranger on the corner. It's just the Pinstripe Chronicles, who will be back on Friday. So wear those pinstripes of pride and play hard.